On this episode of Ranked and Reviewed, we get to the top of the Batman movies, in my opinion. The top with The Dark Knight.
Where do we begin?
A year ago, these cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. I mean, what happened?
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman. Here's my card.
Bruce, this is Harvey Dent.
Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not. You once told me that we'd be together. Did you mean it?
Bruce, don't make me your only hope for a normal life.
You're Alfred, right?
That's right, sir.
Any psychotic ex-boyfriends I should be aware of?
Oh, you have no idea.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're tonight's entertainment. Well, hello, beautiful. You look nervous.
I've seen now what it would have to become to stop men like him.
The night is darkest just before the dawn. I promise you, the dawn is coming.
And here we go. This city deserves a better class of criminal.
I'm gonna give it to him. No! You'll see. I'll show you.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Will you be wanting the back pot, sir?
In the middle of the day, Alfred? Not very subtle.
The Lamborghini, then.
Much more subtle.
Oh boy, Katie Holmes, did you fuck up big time? Katie Holmes. That's the wrong mask. Boy, did you fuck up, Katie Holmes. Welcome to Ranked and Reviewed. I am your host, Tomye West. Joining me as always is Spider-Man, ALANNIS Maximus. I'm confused now, man. Is Spider-Man Batman?
I'm confused.
And I didn't overstay my welcome. So, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment because it makes us feel good, which makes you feel good. That's the deal, right, Alan?
Yes, because feeling good is good. Real good.
Very good. Very good.
Like staring awkwardly into a camera. Good.
And we are here with what can only be described as, without a doubt, the best Batman movie ever. I'm just coming right off the bat and saying there ain't no surprises with me with this one. We are reviewing The Dark Knight. Ooh, what a movie, Alan. What a movie. Now, if you haven't joined us before and you're checking us out for the first time, we rank movies in franchises from what we think is best to worst. And we bring you those reviews once a week, usually leading up to a new release in that franchise we are reviewing at the current time. For example, we just did Jurassic Park / Jurassic World. Did all those movies, all 6. Now, we're on our 7th Batman movie. We've done all the Jackass movies, done all the Scream movies. We're about to do something like 20,000 fucking Halloween movies coming up.
30,000 Barbie movies.
Yep. the Barbie movie, it's a good time. It's a good time. Now, before we get into our thoughts, we're going to give you an overview of this movie. The Dark Knight, released 2008, PG-13, with a runtime of 2 hours and 32 minutes, with an IMDb rating high of 9.0 out of 10. Now, before we continue with this overview, do we really need to even review it? With a 9.0, man, it's just across the board. This movie is fantastic. Now, the synopsis goes a little like this. When the menace known as the Joker wreaks havoc and chaos on the people of Gotham, Batman must accept one of the greatest psychological and physical tests of his ability to fight injustice. Now, this is directed by Christopher Nolan. It is written by Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan, and David S. Goyer. It stars Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, Aaron Eckhart, Morgan Freeman. Heath Ledger, man. Like, it doesn't even need to star anyone else. Now, this is something we've left out multiple times on these reviews, and I'm going to make sure I do it from now on. And that is, I'm going to give you the box office / budget of these movies from now on. This budget of the movie was $185 million. Opening weekend, just in US and Canada. It opened on July 20th, 2008. It made $158 million. Gross US and Canada, $534 million, with a gross worldwide total of $1 billion. That's a dude, that overview just already we may as well just drop the mic and fucking walk off stage. Now, before I get into my thoughts, because I'm sure you can all clearly tell what my thoughts are on this movie, let's get into the other side of this conversation with Alannis. Alannis, your thoughts on The Dark Knight?
I think I enjoyed it more than I recall enjoying it. I'm one of those rare people, and it's controversial to say, but I think one of the weakest points in this movie was Heath Ledger. Some of the things he does just irk me.
You are treading on one of the best performances in history of film. But keep going. I'm ready to dig this hole with you, man. I'm alongside you with this one.
Yes. I would have liked to have seen more of, and I can remember feeling this way when I first saw it as well. I liked Eckhart's portrayal of Two-Face and Harvey Dent more. I wanted to see more of him. Like, it's not that he was a bad Joker, but I didn't like him as much as everyone else does.
But do you think that maybe Aaron Eckhart would have been better suited as Batman / Bruce Wayne?
That's interesting, because I was kind of thinking that. I'm like,
he has the superhero chin.
Yeah.
He has the playboyish acting skills, and he can also be dark as fuck. Tell me he wasn't a better choice than Christian Bale. They should have just made him Batman.
And he probably wouldn't have been inaudible as Batman.
Now, that's a concern of mine, but I'm going to get into that, but you keep going.
Yeah, yes, I that's actually a good point. I think he would have made a fantastic Batman.
And I know you wanted to see more of him, but you can't tell me that it was kind of a bummer how quick it was over with him. Like, you got Two-Face, then it was done. And it was like, I kind of would have preferred him in The Dark Knight Rises more than even fucking bringing Tom Hardy on as Bane. But we'll talk about that next week, obviously. Now, I got to understand your thought process here, because you don't like some of the things Heath Ledger does. Now, everything Heath Ledger does in this movie has a twist of brilliance on it. And this is coming from someone who studied this movie heavily through film school. Now, he was told on set he didn't have any direction. He came on, he did what he wanted to do. And if you watch this movie, there are so many scenes where he clearly does something out of the blue and no one was prepared for it. Like when he's at the party and he rocks up and he grabs a glass of wine and goes to drink it, misses his mouth. But that makes the charm of this character of being like fucking with like the extras on stage. Like, they don't have any idea what he's coming on, and he's like putting his fucking like face in theirs. He's putting his knife up against people and shit, and like grabbing the wine out of the person's hand. Like, dude, that was all on the spot. Like, when he gets out of the truck after it flips over and he gets out and like stumbles and then gets up and stumbles, all of this was just him on the spot, man. And that's why I think this is a great performance. Whether he follows through on every single choice, maybe not, but that kind of adds to the charm of this character being so crazy. I don't know if that makes it a little bit more for you going, I didn't think about it like that, or if you did think about that and you...
It does sweeten it a little bit, but it's the I think maybe another thing as well is just a personal thing for me that I detest schlopping, and he overdoes
Yeah, but I don't know if you've ever had split lips before, man, but you do that with your tongue constantly when you have split lips. It's kind of like I've had split lips really bad before, and I used to, like, you're always constantly like licking them because you can't help it. They're so like kind of uncomfortable. I think that was what he was trying to give off, is that he's like, it's uncomfortable and you can't help but to play with them. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just interesting choices. Maybe some things annoy people a little bit. Maybe some people, aren't as impressed with it. But I just love the creepiness, the craziness, the delivery. Like, even at the start of the movie when he takes the mask off for the first time, and I believe what doesn't kill you makes you a stranger. Like, just little weird shit like that. The magic trick. How about a magic trick? I'm going to make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! Like, dude, this movie is fucking... I love it. He goes, it's God. Like, just weird little shit like that. So, now, would this movie rate highly as it does for me without him in it? Fuck no. Without the Joker in this movie would be boring as fuck. And I don't think Christian Bale is good as Batman at all. I don't watch this movie for the Batman portrayal at all. I really get nothing out of the Batman portrayal. The only thing I like is at the end when he's running off, even though he kind of looks stupid running off, how, he's got the big fucking, I'm having a mind blank on the detective, how he's like, he is our Dark Knight. Like that sort of shit. Like, but when it's him, like, where is he? Where is he? It's just like, fuck me, man. Like, you're ruining it, I also didn't like the underuse of Cillian Murphy in this as the Scarecrow again. Like,
yeah, he's just kind of there.
It's like a cameo appearance, and he kind of does it really quickly. But I feel like he was very underutilized because, like, he takes his mask off for a split second, and he's sitting there like, and Batman's getting into, I'm not the woman in fucking hockey pants or whatever. Like, I don't know. I could have like used more of him in it. And like, I love just the moments of like the parade with the soldiers and Heath Ledger wearing this fucking soldier's costume, but he still looks fucking all Jokerish. And man, there's just so much to that performance that makes this movie just not just one of the best superhero movies ever, but one of the best movies ever. I don't know if you've ever looked at it through this lens. This movie is a heist movie. This movie doesn't necessarily have to translate to Batman. Imagine taking Batman and Joker out, making this a heist movie. It's a detective LA noir type style movie. That's what this movie is. Deep down, this is a LA noir crime sort of movie that has Batman as the detective and Joker as the villain. And they're written into that molding really well. That's what makes this movie a really fucking good movie, because it's not a Batman movie. It's a heist movie set in a noir setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you agree with that?
I do. Yeah, I think that's good observation.
I love this movie, man. I've studied it. I can like mouth the words along with everything, like every scene. Like it's like muscle memory that like I can cue up the sounds. Like I know what the next line is. Next line, next line, next line. It's fucking one of those movies that just, this is what made me fall in love with Batman, this movie. And you know what? I've been waiting for a good Batman movie ever since. So.
But do you really think that Heath Ledger did a better job than Arnie is Mr. Freeze? Because, I mean...
It depends what you fucking... It depends what they're going for. Arnold Schwarzenegger clearly wasn't going for an Academy Award-winning role.
He wasn't? Come on, that was serious acting.
But I still receive this award.
Could you imagine it, though, if he did get an award for it? He'd be like...
Hey, we can at least definitely say that he definitely did better than Jared Leto.
Oh, yes. Oh, man.
And you know what? I gave that guy credit for his delivery of the Joker when he got the second chance in that little snippet of Zack Snyder's The Justice League. I was like, that was awesome. But now that I know Jared Leto's such a creep, can't justify that anymore. Worst Joker ever. Worst Joker ever.
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to just admit it right now. I didn't like the Joker with, what's his fucking name in it? The movie, The Joker.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm going to admit it right now. I didn't fucking like it. It was, again, not a Batman movie. It was not a Joker movie. I was like, I want a Joker movie. If we're going Joker, we want Joker, not fucking mentally unwell Joker, like, with serious mental, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. What do you think about the opening scene with the bank heist and everything?
Yeah, I think it's a strong scene. I think a good introduction as well. Like it sets up the picture.
I love slowly watching them all turn on each other, man. It's fucking
awesome. Yeah. It's kind of brilliant as well. The whole school bus bit, how they why are there so many fucking school buses going in the one direction as well?
Apparently, that's really New York. What it's like, man. They have to like they're in formation. Apparently, like getting kids from New York, like
Jesus.
Well, I know it's in Chicago, like, but it is kind of New York, Gotham City. I compare it to. I'm sure it's the same in Chicago. So there's a lot of kids in America, man.
So they forget the population density. It's like they're like 30 million people. It's like that's heaps.
Yeah, no shit. And what we were saying last episode, and what did I begin this episode with? Poor Katie Holmes, you made a bad decision.
I feel the sad part is she didn't get to really make that decision. It was made for her.
Yeah, by as you said, you don't want to call them it, but you're going to anyway. A cult.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're all lovely people, but you're a cult. And you know what? I've actually heard Tom Cruise is a really upstanding fucking dude. Like, I've heard he's really nice. I've heard on the set he really cares for people. Like, he really fucking appreciates people's time, and he like thanks people. He's like, "Thank you for being here. I appreciate your work." It's like, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I get that he's a bit of a weirdo, like believing in this fucking Scientology shit, but hey, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying this is what I've heard from people. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Katie Holmes made a bad decision, and I don't care how much Tom Cruise said don't do it. You could have read that script and gone, this is something special. Because you can't just tell me that Heath Ledger's performance made that movie special. It was always going to be special.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, without Heath Ledger, yeah, okay, maybe wouldn't stand up to being one of the best movies, in my opinion, ever made. But it would still be a good movie. But having Joker, Heath Ledger performance, and Batman like wrapped into this sort of noir cop story is just on another level. Like, I love that chase scene with the truck, and I love the helicopter, how it gets fucking what is it? Rack 'em up. I love that so much. And then he missed, and the truck flips and shit. And the tumble. I love the bat cycle when it comes out from that alleyway, and the tire spins 180, sort of like the other way. And then he goes, "Now there's the Batman." Like, the whole fucking movie is just filled with like quotes. And what did you think about this is what I like about this movie. It's so similar to Jack Nicholson's sort of like, not his performance, but his storyline arc, which is there isn't one thing Joker's trying to do. There isn't one grand scheme of plan. It's like he's trying to just cause chaos, which I don't know if everyone knows. There's one word for every one of these Batman movies that Christopher Nolan linked to these Batman movies. So I think the first one's like beginnings or origin or something, and then the second one's chaos, which is this one, and then the third one's something else. I can't remember. So all I know is that this one is linked to the word chaos, and that's all you can say that Joker is trying to do, is trying to make the city eat itself alive. Yeah. And he doesn't care how he does it, and that's what I think keeps this movie interesting, man. Is it's not one long blown out plot where you're seeing it all laid out. Like, it's a new thing here and there, like the phone inside the dude, the fucking boats, the fucking, everything, like even to the fact that like the knives in his shoes, like just weird maniacal shit. And that's what I think this movie just hasn't been beaten yet. And I'm still waiting on a Batman movie to do that same thing to me, because I have not had that same effect from a Batman movie since. What else have you got to say about this, Alan?
I'm interested to know what your thoughts on Katie Holmes' role as opposed to what's her name? She's
I'm just gonna say that I think that character is shit all around.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who's playing it. I just don't feel like she brings much to the plot, except the fact of like Batman choose to go save Harvey Dent or her. Like, if it wasn't for that part in the movie, would have she been that crucial?
Not really, no. I think she was better than Katie Holmes, though. I think she's a slightly
100%.
A bit more depth.
Katie Holmes is like, I feel like Katie Holmes is TV actress.
Yes.
Not movie actress. Like Dawson's Creek actress. Not fucking Batman. That chick is an actress. She's a movie actress. Like, I've never watched a Katie Holmes performance of being like, bravo! It's fucking Katie Holmes, bro. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Katie Holmes. If you like her, drop her a comment. I'll chat with you about it. So what do you think about how this leaves off with, like, how Batman Begins ends with, like, that awesome cliffhanger for this movie? And how do you think that this lives up to that cliffhanger? Do you think that this movie lives up to the hype caused by that cliffhanger?
I think so. I think it picks up right where it needs to as well with introducing the Joker. There's no slow kind of origin like with the original Batman movies, not someone else that then becomes the Joker. It's just he's there with no real explanation apart from you got that slight hint at it in the last movie, which I'm actually interested in. I didn't look it up, but I was wondering what time period is in between these two movies.
2005 was Batman Begins. 2008 was Dark Knight.
Oh no, so I meant like in world. Is it meant to be
in
like
the world? In the world. Okay, let's have a look at that. Actually, we can
I
go
did find
Dark
it
Knight trilogy.
interesting.
Dark Knight. 1 second. Knight trilogy timeline. Here we go. Okay, so we've got Batman Begins, not including flashbacks, takes place between 2002 to 2005. Hold on. Joker implies to the mob that it's been less than a year since Batman showed up. Does this make big? This is someone asking the question. And then someone goes, so, yeah, it's almost like around it looks like the 3-year mark or something like that. 2-year mark. People are, it's kind of up for debate, man. Like, I'm sure you could like find it. So the Dark Knight Rises 8 years after puts you in the 10th year of Batman. The Dark Knight was based in 2006, and The Dark Knight Rises was based in 2014. Batman Begins 2007, Dark Knight 2008, Dark Knight Rises 2016.
Okay, there you go.
So we're kind of getting like the Joker treatment with what we're getting in the new movie, which is that he'd already been around for a year, and Joker was actually it's reversed in the new movie where Joker was. It looks like Joker was the first criminal, and Riddler was the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think they need to leave the Joker alone now. We've had it done amazingly. We've had it done a lot. We've kind of run out of the Joker stories. And I just think Batman has such a good list of villains. Like, there are so many notable villains. It's like Spider-Man's roster, yeah? Spider-Man has, in the MCU, Spider-Man has the most unmatchable villains roster. Do you agree?
Yeah, pretty much.
Think about it for a second. Vulture, Rhino, Scorpion, the Black Cat, Sandman. Like, dude, I can keep listing. Like, every book is like from the early Amazing Spider-Man like comics. Like, every person is critical in that, like the villains, and you can make a good superhero movie featuring any of those villains. And they've shown that with all the Spider-Man movies. I've almost found all the Spider-Man movies, the flaws have never been in the villains. It's been in the stories. Like, even with Amazing Spider-Man, the performances of, like, Jamie Kennedy as Electro was not, except for the whole, excuse me, my calculator, like, that shit was bad. But his actual performance when he is Electro is really good. And the guy that plays Harry Osborn in that movie is fucking awesome as the Green Goblin too. So it's not about the villains being bad. It's about the stories being bad. And
Except for Jeffrey Grace's Venom. That he's the one exception to that rule.
Yes, I agree. But he gets a pass because he's in one of the best television shows ever made. That's 70s.
That's fair.
I'll fight people to the death on this. People are like, what? It's better than The Big Bang Theory? I don't think so. I'm like, what fucking are you smoking? The Big Bang Theory, 2.5 Men, those shows suck. That 70s show, Malcolm in the Middle, those are the shows from that era that'll never be beaten. Seinfeld, another one. Fucking 2.5 Men. Fucking, what is it? What's that? The guy from Big Bang Theory is Young Sheldon. Oh, fuck off. So, look, I'm just going to say that I really think they need to leave the Joker alone. What I'm trying to get is that they've got villains like Poison Ivy. They've got Mr. Freeze. They've got Two-Face. They've got Bane, obviously. They've got fucking, like, go more obscure. Do, like, Man-Bat. Do, fucking... trying to think of a couple, like, do weird ones. Like, what was the guy that Polka Dot Man, like, he's in from Batman. Like, there's some weird fucking villains. And I know we've seen them and people are going to be like, yeah, but they've done them. But, like, we've gotten a Joker way more than we've gotten other villains. Like, we've gotten Penguin once and it was in the worst Batman movie ever, in my opinion. Like, actually, we've gotten him twice. And you know what? That new Penguin is much better than fucking Danny DeVito's Penguin. And that's what I mean. They have so many people, like the Riddler. Fucking, they don't need Joker all the time. And I feel like that's what everyone's like, well, the new Batman movie, does it have Joker in it? You're like,
you don't need to do that.
You don't know. They don't need to have Joker in it every time. I just think it's been done so well, and they should hang the mantle up for the Joker, at least for give it a decade. At least. Longer, because we're only going to probably get one movie in the next decade. So give it 20 years. 2 more movies. Come back with a Joker. And it'll still be too much. Now, with that, let's get into our trivia. Unless you got anything else you want to add to it, Alan.
No, not at all.
Cool. That's right. You know deep down this is the best fucking Batman movie. I'm going to make you admit it before this fucking series is out. I know where this ranks for you because I had to do the ranking earlier. We're going to bring it up for people soon. When you told me, I'm like, where does it rank for you on Messenger? And you told me, I just went, what are you doing? All right. Let's get into our trivia on this movie. I'm sure there's a lot, and it's pretty good. When filming a chase scene on Lake Street, the Chicago Police Department received several calls from concerned citizens stating that the police were involved in a vehicle pursuit with a dark vehicle of unknown make or model. This was the first comic book movie to reach the $1 billion mark worldwide.
Yeah.
The bus crashing backwards into the bank in the opening scene was much harder to pull off than was anticipated. The bus had to be taken apart and reassembled inside the building, concealed behind a large false wall, and then propelled backwards with an air cannon.
That is a lot of effort.
Yep. When filming the chase scene with the Joker and the SWAT vans, one of only 4 IMAX cameras in the world at that time was destroyed. Made more money than Batman Begins 2005's Batman Begins' entire domestic run in only 6 days of release.
Jesus.
Christopher Nolan and his co-writers, Jonathan Nolan and David S. Goyer, made the decision very early on to explore the Joker's origins. This was so the character could be presented as an absolute. And we will read a couple more. We just found the answer to our question, man. This sequel takes place roughly 9 months after the events of Batman Begins.
There you go.
This is the first Batman movie where Batman operates outside of Gotham. Christian Bale admitted he did not pack on as much muscle weight for this movie as he did for Batman Begins, in part due to keeping with the new Batsuit design, which is leaner and more flexible. And Christopher Nolan cast Heath Ledger based on his Oscar-nominated performance in Brokeback Mountain. He had such a lack of vanity, he wasn't afraid to bury himself in his character. And we will go with one more. This was the highest-grossing Batman movie and the highest-grossing of any movie adapted by DC Comics or characters. Both records were previously held by The Batman in 1989. The trivia, the IMDb rating, and Heath Ledger speak for this movie, man. It's great. All right, now, if you kids are prepared at home to see the travesty of ALANNIS' ranking, let's pull it up. Okay, first let's bring up what our ranking was as of last week. I was Batman Begins, number 1. Batman Forever, number 2. Batman 1989, number 3. The Batman 2022, number 4. Batman Returns, number 5. Number 6, Batman and Robin. ALANNIS' was number 1, Batman Forever. Number 2, Batman Returns. Number 3, Batman Begins. Number 4, Batman and Robin. Number 5, is it Batman 1989? Yep. And then number 6, The Batman. And here is the updated ranking. Look at what he did. So for all of you listening, not watching, the ranking are now as follows. Me, number 1, The Dark Knight. Number 2, Batman Begins. Number 3, Batman Forever. Number 4, Batman 1989. Number 5, The Batman. Number 6, Batman Returns. Number 7, Batman and Robin. And ALANNIS' rankings are number 1, Batman Forever. Number 2, Batman Returns. I can't believe you, man. Number 3, The Dark Knight. Yep. Number 4, Batman Begins. Number 5, Batman and Robin. Number 6, Batman 1989. Number 7, The Batman. I just want to repeat number 3 for you all. The Dark Knight. Number 3. Dude, can I hear your argument of how Batman Returns is a better movie than this? I can't open my eyes right now, so just let me.
I have a soft spot for Tim Burton, I guess, and the Gotham he created, and Michael Keaton. That's what we'll go with.
I'm back. It's okay. I'm back. Sorry. I had to walk off for a minute. No one saw it. I thought I'd do it behind the cover of the rankings. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going again. Nah, look. Opinions are the slice of life. That's what you say, Alan.
Yes.
We're not all going to be right, are we? Alan? Sometimes
It's
we
the
are
right
wrong.
opinion.
Sometimes
Then there's
we
my
are
opinion.
wrong. Yes. Well, there you have it. Another shocking conclusion to our Batman Ranked and Reviewed series. Now, next week, we are bringing you our review of The Dark Knight Rises. The Fire Rises. Or perhaps he's wondering why somebody would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane. Nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask. And I love that. If I pull that off, will you die? It would be extremely painful for you. You're a big guy. For you. All right. We're getting out of here. Because Alan made me angry. And now I'm hungry too. So I'm hangry.
Angry.
I'm your host, Tomye West. Joining me as always is the very lovely but sometimes wrong co-host, ALANNIS Maximus. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, liked, or shared, or left a comment, please do, because you leaving a comment makes us feel good, makes you feel good. That's right, Alan. Is that right?
Good.
That's the deal, Alan. And we'll see you next week for our ranked and reviewed episode of The Dark Knight Rises. Can anyone guess that one? Guess where that one's going on fucking Alan's list? Probably first, knowing his taste. I'm fucking with you, man. You're
Oh,
great.
how have we not done this? Same bad time, same bad channel.
When does this episode fucking end, Alan?
Now.